There are thousands of DOS games. Most of them are terrible. I play one selected at random with a 20-minute time limit and record it live. This is the result. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another random DOS game show. And I'm recording this on my Linux partition. I'm telling you this because the music will sound a little different, because it's being played through DOSBox staging. This is a game by Sawyer, released through Microprose, and it's one of the best DOS games of all time, Transport Tycoon Deluxe. I played the original Transport Tycoon the other day, and due to some sound mixing issues, I decided, you know what, I'm going to play the deluxe version and give it a good shake, with decent sound. So, this is Transport Tycoon Deluxe. You've got your standard menu here. Let's go to the game options. You can switch the currency, the distance, the road vehicles, town names, and autosave, which is nice. And there is a difficulty option. We'll leave that for medium, we'll just do a quick run through of the game and show you bits and pieces. There are video tutorials and demos to sort of show you that, and the deluxe version of Transport Tycoon was released the year after the original, and it offers different landscapes and various improvements. But without further ado, here's one of the best DOS games of all time, and I shall set my 20-minute timer, because of course I'm going to need to. Let's go. New game. And we shall generate random new game. And let's see what happens. Okay, that is a hideous looking manager. Our manager's name is Lonnie, but if you don't like what's randomly generated, let's have a new face. Let's just hit this little button at the top here. That pauses the game. Let's hit a new face. By default it selects male. Hey, that guy's almost as bald as I am. He'll do. You are acceptable, sir. Okay, so you have a choice of colour schemes. You can build an HQ, which doesn't really do all that much. Change your name and the company name. What you have here, controlled by the arrow keys, is your isometric map. And that shows you the world. And we can zoom out in and out of that using these keys here, which is nice. Get a good overview of everything. But that's not the best way to navigate through things. Up here we have your options with a little tool, and we've got your save and load game. And we'll hit this. And that shows you the map. Now, most importantly, the map has a key. You can also bring the map out a bit. So it's just like a windowed environment. It's very, very easy and simple. And you can drag the map with the right click. Now, obviously, that won't make a lot of sense, You're looking at that and it's like, oh, it's just all the towns and stuff. Big whoop. We don't care about towns right now. They're small and unimportant. Except for maybe those two. We might focus on them, we'll see. But you'll also note there are these big power plants and some sort of factory sat there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the map. And suddenly, wham! Whoa! It's different. But why does this matter, James? Well, we can now see what type of industries are present. And your job as a tycoon of transport is to link industries with vehicles. So what we're going to do now is I am just going to have a little look and see what is close to where. This looks like a perfect staging point for the rest of the game, to be honest with you. Runnyville. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, just for the fun of it, is I'm going to build an HQ in Runnyville. Let's see. We need to unpause the game. There we go. Nice little house. Just to let the people know, I'm here. Next step is I'm going to go to the Rail tab, or Rail button, and I'm going to click a station. We're going to construct the station, and you can change the number of tracks the station has if you have multiple trains on there. You can also change the platform length. Let's go 4. That'll do nicely. So that's Runville Mines. Now we have to get that over to here. And you'll see it accepts coal. But there's an iron ore thing over there. If you look at the catchment area highlight, we'll turn that on. So if we leave that there won't be any iron produced, and it doesn't accept any passengers. So there's Runville East. But you see a problem. There's water in the way, and also a substantial hill. We'll take the rail button, and we'll click and drag, because it's a nice straight rail. And now we have to decide whether to go over the hill or under the hill. We're going to hit the tunnel button, and we're going to construct a tunnel at cost. The cost will always float up when you're expending money, and we shall have to figure out how to get to this station. Now we have a choice here. We can either bring the rail down this way, or we can come up this way and then do a very, very sharp turn. I am going to go down this way, just for the time being. And also, I'll go to the jukebox. I'm just going to turn that music down a little bit. About there? Yeah, that's fine. And we'll bump up the effects volume, because previously the effects had been way too high and the music had been too low. But now we're going to have a nice balance. And I'll try not to deafen myself on the headphones. Right, now that we've got all the sound sorted, we shall continue with our rail empire. And you'll note, if we look at the mines here, there's coal waiting. So we've got to get a move on. So we'll connect this, like so. And we'll think to ourselves, right, we need to get to that tunnel. So what we'll do is we'll build a little land bridge here. It costs a lot of money to raise and lower land. So sometimes it's just easier to go over and under it with bridges and tunnels, which is what we want to do, because we're not a millionaire at this point. We don't have a lot of money. So we'll bring the track out to here, and a new transport company is launched, Mending Hatton Transport. They're usually named after where they start, and sometimes they can infringe upon you. Okay, we've got that sorted. Let's build our first train. So we build a train depot. Click on the train depot. We can close the construction now, it's fine. And hit new vehicles. Let's go with a Channy Jubilee Steam. And then we need some coal trucks for the coal. Alright. And we'll just tell it, go here. And go here. We're giving it orders now. That's the little orders tab. Just there. And we can just tell it to start. And just as it... the coal mine production has gone down, just as our train has arrived. Oh well. And then they're celebrating because the train has arrived. But that's not all we're going to do. This is our little area of the land. We've got the coal in place. But you'll see here, hey, there are two towns. So what happens if we just link those two with a bridge? Let's just go with a little concrete bridge. I don't like the wooden ones because they're quite slow. There we go. The two towns are linked. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a bus shelter. And that accepts passengers. But you have to look at the catchment area. Where would it be best to build? And that lake makes it a bit difficult to get everywhere that we need to be. So I am gonna... let's just stick it here for now. Pronborough Bus Depot. And we'll stick one in Runville as well. Let's see. That's not great. It's often a logistical issue, you know. Let's just stick that there. I'm gonna, blow a bit of expense here and just stick a tunnel in there. It's pricey, but it means that the buses will be able to get to and from very easily because they're not the fastest moving. Also, you've been listening to it for a while now, but this is one of the greatest game soundtracks of all time. John Broomhall, famous for XCOM. made this beautiful jazzy sort of rock soundtrack inspired by Herbie Hancock and various others, and it's glorious. It's just great to listen to. So we'll build 2 buses. That's probably one too many at the minute, and we'll just give them orders to go to and from the bus shelters. Nice and easy. And we'll get that one to do the reverse. Like so. Come on. There we go. Okay. So they're on their way. It's probably not the best way of doing it. There are probably some experts looking at this and being like, okay, why are you doing it this way? So I'll probably run through the other buttons now, just to give you an idea. There's a ticker tape at the bottom, just keeps explaining everything that's going on, you know. And you'll see our train is stopped. That's because it's broken down. If we look at the manifest, the reliability is 79%, and it's 0 years old, and has a lifespan of 20. Eventually you have to replace trains, because the older they get, the more and more unreliable they become. So let's just pause this briefly and have a look at the other menus. You've got a list of towns. So say if you want to work with just passengers, you'll want to aim for the bigger towns like Frintberg, you know, has 800. And as time goes by, these towns will become, you know, more populous, and you'll want to switch away from industry and into passengers. But right now, it's the early 50s. There's barely any people around. Subsidies generate more income for you. So a subsidy will pop up and say, hey, the first person to deliver corn from this factory to that factory, you know, will get extra money for it for a year or whatever. So it's a good way of generating cash. You've got your stations. That's a list of stations from me, but we can also look at our competitors. There's Bratborough Heights. They've just started construction there. They haven't completed it yet. And I've paused, so they'll not complete it until I choose to allow them to. Then you've got your basic finances. You're already borrowing from the bank at this point. You've got a loan of 100,000, and you eventually will pay that off, and it'll just be pure profit from then. And there's a limit, like with real life, to the amount that you can, you know, take from the bank. We've been through the management. As you can see, Mending Hatton Transport hasn't got any vehicles, but we at Lawney Transport have 2 whole road vehicles and a train. Fantastic. You've got graphs which show the operating profit, so we're making a bit of a profit with what we're doing, because of course we are, it's me who's doing it. And we can see the league table to see who's best, and because they haven't done anything, we're best. You can fund new industries at great expense. Like, look at that, that's nearly £1 million. So say if you've got something that's in a good position and you think, oh, I could, if only there was an industry there, you can actually take your coffers, dig out a whole load of money. This is later on in the game when you have the money, and fund new industries. This is a list of vehicles. You'll see ours is turning a profit, and I don't think Mending Hatton, yep, they don't have any trains. So the vehicles are split into trains and vehicles, road vehicles. You've got your ships and you've got your air transport. Generally, air transport is for passengers, ships, passengers and oil. Then you've got your vehicles, which are just like slower, cheaper versions of trains. I do use them from time to time, but for the most part, I'm not really that big on vehicles. They're not reliable enough for me. Anyway, you get the basics. You've got airport construction. You can even plant trees and place a random sign. Let's place a random sign. So there's a little tree, a little sapling. Let's place a sign. Let's do that. Lawney's tree. Keep off. There we go. So I've got a little tree in a pen there, and nobody else is allowed to touch it. And you've got your jukebox. Your newspaper will show you the last messages. You can also edit the message settings there. And that's pretty much it. That's it. You go from 1950 all the way through to past modern times, I believe. And as times pass, cities will grow larger, and also you'll get access to new technology, which is really, really cool. You get all these fancy fast trains. Let's have a look at these industries, shall we? Let's just have a little look around the map and see. There's a bunch of farms there and a factory. That could be very, very advantageous for us. Very advantageous indeed. A new transport company, but look where they've started! Oh no, I tell you what. Is that the new transport company? No, it's Mendinghattan. Curse you, Mendinghattan! Where are they building to, though? Ah, they're going elsewhere. So, you know what? We can deliver to the same factory. We can do that. So let's do that. Let's undercut them with a lorry station. There we go. It's just too close to another station. Okay, that's fine. We'll keep our distance. And we'll build one up here. Okay, nice and easy. Let's see what this road is like. It might be expensive because we're going through farmland. The actual terrain that you go through costs more if you're, going through a pile. Like, look at that, 2,000. This is a raise land button. You know, if things are a bit uneven and you find you can't build road, you can, at cost, great cost to yourself, build and change the land. There we are. And we'll just build another one of those. You build a little half by just clicking here, just this side. You see that way? That builds half a road. And then you build the turn. We're going to have to turn quite a bit here. I was going to say, if I could turn, but that's an R. Kelly reference. We don't want to do that these days. Oh, accidentally placed a road there. We don't have to worry about it. Okay. So, I really messed up there, but whatever, you know. This is just a demonstration, you know, how great Transport Tycoon is. Don't have to worry. Plus, I can just build a depot there. Aha! Okay, so we've got our farm, and we need to click on the depot and build some new vehicles. Let's have a livestock vehicle. Because it's such a small distance, I think we can just go with the 2 now, and then if we find that we need more, we can get more. Farms produce livestock and grain. Factories require livestock and grain. So it doesn't matter if they're constructing there. That doesn't bother us, you know, it's not our problem because we're not in the goods industry. We're just sending livestock and grain to the market. So, you know, it's all good. Let's click the little flag next to him there. Send him on his way. I think I gave him the right orders. Yes, I did. Okay, so that looks all good now. But the reason that both me and the computer were paying attention to this is because there's a second farm over here. So what we can do is get a little road and not construct a bus station. Bus stations are for passengers. Lorry stations, we'll place that there so it doesn't get in the way of that. And let's say lower this land, I think. There we go. At great personal cost again. This is gonna bite me in the bottom, so to speak, because I'm spending way too much money terraforming land instead of being a sensible individual, and that's the end of year 1. And it gives you a sort of income and expenditure. You'll be running, you know, we made about 20,000, 18,000 there. Not too bad, I think. Or I might be wrong about that. I didn't pay much attention to it. I'm just focusing on this. We'll get to the finances soon enough. Okay, that's wrong, James. Well done. And that's not quite linking to that. There we go. And we'll have another depot, just to be on the safe side. And already livestock and grain are waiting there. So, let's get some more vehicles. And it's very intuitive. You know, if it says you need livestock and grain, what sort of vehicles are you going to get? We're going to get the livestock and grain vehicles. Of course we are. Usually I just stick to coal. I don't know why, I just like transporting coal with trains. So, you can see the little profit sign there, which is nice. But I'm branching out into livestock and grain for the purpose of this playthrough. Ah yeah, so we've got ourselves a little interconnected transportation system, and oh no, another breakdown. That'll temporarily put it out of business, just for the time being. So what I'm going to do now is probably inadvisable, but hey, when has that ever stopped me, in general? But Lonnie, that's inadvisable. I'm doing it anyway. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to lower this land. Oh no! Can't lower land here. Not enough cash. So, we'll close our road construction and we'll go to the finances, because we can still borrow money. So let's take out 30 grand more. In the early game, you know, you're constantly borrowing money. And the lower land function will work, like for a train or a lorry or whatever, you know, it's all the same. It doesn't matter. The land's like, okay. So this is, again, not what you're supposed to do. This is poor management from Lonnie in general. Let's see, is that big enough? Sometimes forcing these things through is a bad idea. And this is looking like a bad idea. Let's see. Because I can't place a station there because they're too close. So again, I'm lowering the land a bit more. Okay. It's not quite big enough. Come on. New players should not do this. Excessive terraforming of the land is so expensive. But I just want to show you that the market is now both. It's got a little lorry symbol and a little train symbol. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build some rail. Let's see, where is that other one? It's over there. So I just need to get from there to there. Let's see if I can do that. If I do this over there. Problem is I'm building over farmland, which again is costly. Very, very costly. Yep, that's a pretty penny. I'm usually very frugal, you know, in real life as well, not just in-game. So when there's a serious expense like that, I'm like, So there's the station linked with the other one. And they share livestock and grain. So we've linked that up nicely. But that's not all. Because what we can do here is construct this. Aha! Another train thing. Now, you have the option to have train tracks. Can't build bridge here. Why ever not? What if it's a little bigger? No. So it doesn't want us to build a bridge. That could be a problem. What about a tunnel there? Not enough cash. Oh, we're running into trouble here. Now, I really have to think. Can I afford to take out some more? Just for the purposes of this playthrough? Yes. Yes, I can. There we are. And that is not leading us where we need it to be. Should have thought that through, you know. Oh well. Oh well, oh well. What I can do is demolish the station entirely and change the orientation of the station. Like that. And then I think I've screwed myself. But anyway, that's Transport Tycoon. I've played over 20 minutes of it. You get the idea. well over 20 minutes. Anybody who liked model trains, anybody who likes city builders, even real-time strategy fans, any business management simulator fans will absolutely adore Transport Tycoon. But I wouldn't recommend playing the Deluxe Edition. What I would do if I were you would be to take the files from the Deluxe Edition, which is available to download from various places, shall we say, and plug them into Openttd. Openttd is an open source modernized version of Transport Tycoon that I have ranted and raved about in the past. It's wonderful. It's sitting on overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, where it was released recently, but it's been available for years. It's brilliant. This game is brilliant. You don't need the original game files. You can just load up Openttd. It's got its own open graphics and sound set. It's only if you want the John Broomhall soundtrack and the original graphics, you know. But yeah, I could talk about this game endlessly. I have, in fact. I've got a long play of me doing just that. And I've got an old review that I did of the game where I waxed lyrically about how wonderful Openttd was. So yeah, I'm going to shush now. I'm going to complete building my train empire, and I guess I'll see you next time. Until then. Oh, and if you like me talking about DOS games, feel free to check out my other videos. I have hundreds of them. Hundreds on the channel. And if you like what you see there, subscription is available. Until next time.